The straight-to-DVD animated feature Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay has hit shelves, and I'm here to tell you that this is the Suicide Squad worth waiting for. Though not perfect, this version of our favorite baddies working for Waller definitely delivers where the live-action film fell short. I'm Chris Carr. Here's why you need to check out Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. Let's be clear, here there be spoilers. Continue at your own will. Within the first 5 minutes of the flick, the tone and rules are set. It's gonna be bloody, and we are not afraid to blow up heads and show you that schniz. Unlike the live action, where we're given a character with limited backstory to establish the head blowing up rule, here we're given some classic villains like Count Vertigo, who explain their personal agendas, needs, and wants, and we actually feel something for these psychopaths as they're getting their melons blown to bits. From there, we delve into the story. Amanda Waller is having the team work off the books to get her a mystical card that ensures she'll make it to the good place when she croaks, a fate that's looming all too near. Now, I can hear y'all already. We've got an afterlife MacGuffin? I, too, was a little wishy-washy on this whole get out of hell free card. But let's keep in mind that in the world of DC, we have a well-established belief in the afterlife, hell, and work with gods on the reg. Would it be my choice for a story? Nah, but I can suspend my belief for an hour and 30 to see some hecky violent acts that are done in the name of saving yourself from eternal damnation. And frankly, given our squad, it makes sense that our evildoers are keen to avoid Satan's spitfire. Given their mission, the team piles into an RV to give us the weirdest road trip movie ever. Next, I hope DC gives us a buddy cop romp with Deadshot and Harley. Our crew consists of Deadshot, who just wants to be a good dad and doesn't believe in the power of the card, Bronze Tiger, who thinks he's way above his morally gray at best cohorts, Suicide Squad standard chick Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Copperhead, and Killer Frost. Now I've got to pause for a minute to praise the movie on some really creative uses of Killer Frost's powers, and I enjoyed seeing her being utilized as such a strong, formidable villain. We get just enough backstory on everyone to know why they're imprisoned, their own personal beliefs on the afterlife, and an interesting exploration of faith and redemption that holds this movie above your typical DC animated project, and forces viewers to engage on an intellectual level typically reserved for the graphic novels themselves. The film is dark and has a much more laid-back approach to comedy than the fart gags we've seen in other recent releases. Looking at you, Harley. And relies more on cheeky one-liners and a few well-placed sight gags. I'd kill to be able to Copperhead an expression at kids when I'm stuck on the 405. But don't let the jokes fool you. This movie is not afraid to kill off anyone. In the recent past, DC animation projects have been called out for being sexist and objectifying women. Not in this movie. We open with lady strippers. Guess what? We're going to the male strip club! Equality! But if you're here for some rated R sexy stuff in addition to the violence, worry not, we do get some nip slips in there. Though it felt like a throwaway that was being used to give us a slightly more put-together storyline and give Task Force X more, well, tasks, I've got to talk about Maxim Steel. Greg Grunberg slays this performance of a doucher who somehow gains the powers of Dr. Fate and decides to lay low as what I'm gonna call stripper Ozymandias, who has an onk as a tramp stamp. It's so delightfully pretentious and skinky at the same time. Speaking of Fate showing up, it was so great to see so many cameos strewn throughout the film. I found myself constantly pausing to do a double take of who was popping up. They're using Knockout? Hell yes! You get Zoom, Tobias Whale, Black Manta, Silver Banshee, and tons more. Now, like I said, Grunberg does some amazing work, and of course, Tara Strong delivers as always. I felt like this was Tara really finding her voice in Harley, as opposed to being a sound-alike to the chick we'd come to know and love from Batman the Animated Series. She crushes her one-liners, and plays Harley in such a sweet way, it's almost jarring when the blonde bombshell demolishes folks with her baseball bat. If I have one complaint though, I think it's about the voice acting. The rest of the cast just didn't feel up to snuff. I was really pumped about Christian Slater voicing Deadshot, and ended up just disappointed. The snark just felt like he was some weird multiverse edition where he was Tony Stark with less financing and hardware. This may have more to do with the script than performance, however, as I felt the Find My Daughter storyline was a half-assed attempt to flesh out Wade. Vanessa Williams as Waller also seemed to not quite get there and give us the demanding, commanding force we've come to know when it comes to the wall. This could be another sound-alike issue for me though, and I'd love to hear y'all's take on it. To me, she felt like she was mimicking Amanda Waller's of the past, but if she hadn't done that, would I have hated it even more? Would it be like when anyone other than Kevin Conroy is Batman and you're like, no, that's not how he sounds? Ugh, and Vandal Savage's No Country for Old Men voice was a weird choice. But then again, so was barely utilizing this DC heavy. I get that he's been the main villain in tons of other animated films, the Arrowverse, and more, but if you're gonna use the guy, use the guy. With high stakes, killer animation, and a script that gets in your head more than your typical slash and shoot story, I can honestly say that this is a Suicide Squad I can get behind. Is it perfect? No. The script definitely could have used a second pass, and some different choices should have been made in the sound booth. But that being said, it definitely is a movie I know I'll find myself coming back to, and puts the 2016 live-action movie to shame. But what do you think? Did the willingness to kill off key characters work? Should they have left spirituality at the door? Did we need more strippers? Hit me up in the comments below and let's talk about it. And while you're there, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. Want to be part of the early crowd? Get notified right when our videos come out by hitting the bell icon. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'm Chris Carr. See you, Space Cowboy.